going on, everyone? And welcome to the Systems Lab Live. This is the grand finale of I Got Too Much Work, part 6 of the session 1 of the Inside Job. We're talking all about work management and why that is necessary that we have a work management process. We did talk some, about the different aspects of work management. And yeah, we're in the finale. So you guys can go check out that series. I'll make sure to put it in a little, what do you call the YouTube playlist thing? We'll make sure to go and do that. But we are most certainly live on YouTube and YouTube and LinkedIn. I don't know why I almost said Facebook. I haven't even been there on the Facebook. It's a good time, y'all. It's Monday. It is a week before Thanksgiving. And we still have the rest of the week ahead. I know that I'm preparing for some good old, rest and relaxation. In the words of my uncle, he was kind of like, Ashley Schuler resting? I don't know about that. I thought that was too funny. But I will be dedicating time where I will relax. Okay. I will dedicate some time to relaxing, but I will also, I know, be inspired, especially about some of the projects and some things that I've been thinking about. And sometimes that's the best way to actually revamp and really relax. You just get refreshed. Okay, you just get refreshed. Tonight we are, what do we, tonight's agenda is really kind of pretty simple. I'm actually going to pull up the deck in a minute. I think I have a little bit of freezies going on slightly. Okay. No, I think we're good. But we have a few things that we do want to cover. I do want to cover what's going on in the Black tech ecosystem. I am going to start covering more of that because this is just something that I've been growing my interest in over the past few months. I've also am a part of the Plug by Sherelle Dorsey, and she has great insights in the Black tech ecosystem. This is a part of my world that I'm gonna say dipping my toe in, but this is what is of interest of me. Like, there's like areas of interest where I feel like everyone should have focus areas, right? People should have focus areas, right? In terms of their interest. And so what that means is that you're picking, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's 3 things, maybe it's 5 things. I don't know how many. I can't put a cap on that. But I think it's very important that we are focusing on the things that really push us to the next level. And for me, I have been focused this year on a lot with personal development, growing as a leader, growing in my skill set as a leader, but also the skill set in the practice as a practitioner in the space that I'm in. And so I've been studying agile project management on my own. I've also been studying what's been going on in the Black tech ecosystem. So that whole thing has captured my attention, hence going to the Women of Project Management over the weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And oh my gosh, shout out, man, to the head woman in charge. I tell you what. And yeah, she is phenomenal, just phenomenal. Asa Watkins is just phenomenal. And she has put together this community of Black women, women of color, who are practitioners, leaders, and covers all specialties of project managers and in project management under this one umbrella, the Women of Project Management. I've been a member for, gosh, it probably has to be 6 years. I want to say 6 years. And in fact, I'm actually going to go in my email to see, let me see, Women of Project Management. I know I go back. That's what I'm looking up in my iPad right now. Women of Project Management. It has probably been from, let me see, women. Yeah, let me see. Because I want to say it's been like 2017. Let me see. I know. Okay. Let me see. 2020. I'm going all the way back in my emails because it's been a while. 2019. Um 20 Okay, I think we got it. 2018. 2018. Yeah. Yeah. So we've been here for a minute. And I got my PMP the fall of October 2017. October 2017. I think I found the Women of Project Management, I want to say 6 months later. And for me, it was a no brainer because I was like, I really didn't know anyone that I could network with. And that was like my thing. I was like so excited to get my PMP. I was like, well, who else is out here? Who else is another woman of color or a Black woman that is out here? And so found Women of Project Management, been rocking ever since. Been rocking ever since. And so I'm excited about what's going to happen. And you had to just, be in the room to really experience really the energy and everything that I think really, what's the right word? It just all made the difference. Let me make sure that the people on, okay, great. The people on the Instagram can hear me. That's why I put my AirPods in. So that's what we're doing here today. Yeah, that's what we're doing here today. And we are going to do a couple things. Like I said, the Black tech is really good. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. Oh, I think we have it. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. Okay. Um okay, hold on now. I'm going to, and I'm gonna be honest too, y'all. I am very notorious for having 8 different types of apps up at the same time. But we're okay. We are okay. Share screen. But also, two people, put in the chat, what are you guys working on in this beautiful third quarter? What are you guys working on? What are you guys working on? What y'all working on? Okay, here we go. What y'all working on in this beautiful fourth quarter? Let's play it, y'all. We got it. All right, everybody. Welcome. We're starting the agenda. So I'm excited to get in the mix for today. Welcome to the Systems Lab Live. If you are tuning in for the very first time, or you've always been curious and you haven't been able to connect the dots of what this particular show is all about, Systems Lab Live is really a weekly show that is dedicated to leading projects, to managing projects, developing processes, and the latest in the technology space as well. So even in the about section, we got my friend up in the building. Come through. And so we're here on a regular basis. Okay, we gather here weekly to really talk about the everyday work, the managing of projects, of teams, how to figure out the best ways and the best strategies to perform the work, to delegate, what's the latest in productivity and in the strategies and how we can implement these things. And it's really all about ensuring that we have the right tools so that we can be efficient with the work that we're doing. Mm? So it's really one of my favorite times, and I'm very much excited to come to you all weekly and to talk about these things and what I'm studying and learning and having guests on occasionally. And actually, I definitely want more in 2023. I'm also very much going to be asking people what types of content they want to see for the Systems Lab Live. I personally want to get more nuanced and niche down, and really talk about the project planning work and the execution on a daily basis. I want to talk about these things and some of the processes and whatnot. But we're here, and let me get to what's on the agenda for today. Well, today we're going to be diving into Black tech news, team apps, and then we're going to talk about what's next. I'm very much focused on giving next steps so that you guys can see what needs to be done next. All right. Love it. Love it. So what we're doing right here is we're taking it back to the Loom report we've been studying and breaking down for the past few weeks. Loom had a report in September about how to make collaboration your team's superpower. A few things to note about this is, and I'm just going in just a little bit so that you guys can kind of see some of the stickies and some of what this article, or rather this report, was talking about. So a couple things I want to point out before we kind of get into one of the aspects I wanted to pull out tonight. So bottom line up front, this report was talking about pre-pandemic work culture versus post-pandemic new way of working culture. Pre-pandemic culture had a lot of siloed work. There was an emphasis on collaboration, but it it didn't make it necessary or even critical to get the work done. It was basically almost optional. Not saying that for all companies, but saying that the attitude was more of, our communication style was more synchronous, real time, right now. Pick up the phone. You didn't answer my email. Getting updates in real time. So that was a lot of it. Clock in. I'm doing my work at my desk. I may have a meeting or two that I collaborate with somebody else. Then I go back and do my own thing. Then come back, see if it's right or wrong, and course correct there. So yeah, so that's a little bit, right, of what we're looking at pre-pandemic work culture. Were we leaning towards more collaborative or more agile or more async communication? I believe that there were various models out there for that, but did it dominate the conversation? And did we see the shift the way that we've had the past 2.5 years? No. And now we've seen the shift. And now we are still getting used to what this new way of working looks like. So this new way of working, what does that look like particularly? Okay? It's looking more collaborative. It's looking like more async, okay? Which is, we don't have to respond in real time. We can respond, take care of tasks, communicate, and it's not even urgent, right? And this is great for projects and tasks and things that, again, you don't need to have real time communication. So there's a lot of there's a few live streams on all of that, on the communication piece of it, and content as well. So, and also to my upcoming podcast season is going to focus on communication, the different flavors of communication. What's going on, Jason Mitchell? And so this podcast season that I will have, and it's audio only, it's not a video podcast, right? I'm still working all of my podcast journey out, finding my way and working on my seasons and just getting my rhythm of what I want this to be. But I like having Netflix limited series style podcasts. 11 episodes, I believe I'll have. It's going to be beautiful. I just have to record my episode. I can probably do that this week. I think I can do this week. Yes. I will make that a goal to do the final episode this week. Bing. Okay. So I'm excited, and that'll be my wrap-up episode. But we talked a lot, client communication. We've had diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we put a spin on that to talk really more about and not even on the race piece or even the gender piece. We talked a lot about communication styles and like learning from one another. So there's a difference in how we did that. That was excellent. We also talked about team communication. I also did several episodes on a communication plan, async communication, all of that. So anyway, long story short story long, all of this aspect of like communication and work culture, you've seen me talk about this a lot. Well, it's gonna be in a nice little package season where you can listen to it. And I'm excited because I want teams to listen to it. I want people to give me feedback. Yeah, it's gonna be phenomenal. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with, the new way of working, right? How we're communicating. And it's so important. This has to be one of the top topics that we continue to talk about in 2023. That's why I'm trying to prepare you all and myself and others with work management and how we're working. Okay. Work management was always a thing. However, again, amplified because of the pandemic. Okay. Work management has always been a thing. Okay. And it's just amplified. Now, I don't have any like data on like when did work management become a thing. But as I started reading and studying about it, I was like, we've been doing work management, but we may not have been calling it that. Right. So that's what this whole series is about, getting understanding of work management, challenges and implementation, best practices, and things like that. So we're going to bring it all together tonight. It's going to be good. Today's leaders are being offered a unique opportunity to redesign the work experience for a new era. Love it. Enough said, right? Leaders, that's you, me, and me, right? We have the unique opportunity to redesign how we work with one another. And it's up to us as leaders, which I love. Jordan Gill, shout out to System Save Me. She had a live stream where she talked about having more collaborative sessions or collaborations among team members versus task-based roles. I also like the work experience because they were having more of those sessions and more was coming out of it, meaning there were more benefits from it, more ideas, more things to think through. But to achieve this, leaders will need to prioritize communication and collaboration, the 2 C's. Communication and collaboration. There's a third one in this whole story of how we're working together with one another. And again, I'll be potting about that in the wrap-up episode. We're going to talk about tonight content, communication, and collaboration. So let's get it, and let's talk a bit about that. But before we go there, I'm going to open up some of the news. So let me go into the news. So let me do a couple of newsworthy things, okay, for the Black Tech News portion of it, and then we'll get into the team apps. But I just wanted to set the stage of what we're talking about. And let me go to my Systems Lab Live notes via Powered by Notion. Oh, and I really do not like this little, see, I don't know what I'm going to be doing about this Systems Lab SOP, but I am going to go through the Digital Jane course. The SOP thing, and I think I'm going to start there with Google. Okay. A couple things. Let's get into it. So per the plug on Instagram. Oh, Danielle, what's happening? Breaking news. It says Resilia, and I might be saying it wrong, raises 35 million Series B, sets sights on vertical integration to further technical support for nonprofits. So basically, and I'm going to let me share my other screen so you guys can see what I am talking about. I want to share my screen, this Instagram on. Okay, cool. So this is what Sherelle Dorsey and the plug put up. And so this young lady, Resilia raises 35 million in funding. Okay, so today it says grants management and capacity building software platform Resilia announced its latest round of funding to the tune of $35 million, which is quite a lot. And from what I've learned, pretty rare. Like, that doesn't happen often, or rather, there's a lot of challenges with Black women, especially raising and founders raising money. Okay, there's a gap. All the things are not aligned, right, in terms of the equity piece. With more than 4 times as much of cash now added to its ledger, the company will focus on ongoing growth of its team, expansion into Canada, and scaling its software adoption across nonprofits and the foundations to them. The round was co-led by Panoramic Ventures, Framework Venture Partners, and a whole bunch of other people. So a lot of people are congratulating. Oh, okay. This person is it Severett Wilson? Let's see. This is pretty interesting. I'm not, like I said, I'm learning a lot of this, so I'm sharing with you what I'm learning from this. Yeah, that's her name. Sevetri. I think it's Sevetri Wilson. Tech Policy and Biz Strategy. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, it looks like I'm following her. Okay, cool. I'm sure she's at the Black Afrotech. Okay. Oh, so they've raised a total of 50 million so far. So she says, I don't think it ever gets easier to raise as a Black woman. Add the pandemic and the ever shifting market to that. But I told my team yesterday that tough times don't last always, but resilient teams do. I'm proud of the team and what we're building for partners and customers. Besides, our traction is undeniable. 350% year over growth plus 150 net revenue retention. Even better, we get to work with some of the largest funders in the world to bring on-demand technical assistance to their grantees and partners. This is really, really cool. We're closing in on 100 full-time members, but we're also hiring with 19 open roles. Wow. Isn't this fantastic? Yeah, this is like so cool. This is like really, really cool. Man. So congrats to her and the whole team. This is just amazing. This is amazing. But it goes back to what she says. It doesn't get easier as a Black woman raising. Okay? It doesn't get easier. And so I think there's a lot of work to be done. And I think, and I apologize for butchering her name, Savretri. Um, she's really someone that is paving the way for others. Who knows? I might have a tech company, and so just being able to see people like her, Morgan DeBron, Sherelle Dorsey, like other people just pave the way is just beautiful. She says on her website, I'm a builder above else. And through the resources I share here, I want to instill that passion for you to build the life you imagine. It's not just about making money that you can afford you a better life. It's about creating a legacy that can afford generations to become a better life. As someone who gives more than take, I want you to take what's here and build something that gets you up in the morning. Build something you love. Wow. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And she has a book that's that was published called Resilient: How to Overcome Anything and Build $1 million Business with or without capital. That's pretty cool, and I will probably put that on my book list. Oh, she even has she got a pod too. Grow you with Sev Tree coming along. Okay. Look, I'm just up in here signing up for all her things right here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so she got the pod. That's cool. I mean, she in it. She in it. She in it. That's cool. This is like really, really cool. And she got the book too. Yeah. It's just some really powerful, like people out here doing really great work. Just doing really, really great work. So I'm very inspired by this. I think we have one more, and then we'll get into the other pieces of it. We're going to go back into the team ops piece of it. So let me stop share of the screen. And I think I got one more. Oh, I was like, where's my Anthony Mays? I just found this guy on LinkedIn too. I thought what he was doing was pretty dope. Let's see. Okay, this is something else, but regardless, it's a lot of brilliance. So let me get over here. Okay. All right. Anthony D. Mays. Oh, yes. Anthony D. Mays at morganlatimer.com, ex Google software engineer, inclusion advocate, and speaker. So I found him through some sort of conference. Was it the BitCon? I don't know. Something. Anyway, he reposted this. I thought this was cool. Tribaja, which is a computer software company. Okay, hold on. Let's read what it's about. It's partnering with Carrot, the largest interviewing company in the Brilliant Black Minds movement, to double the number of Black software engineers in tech. So this is like beyond brilliant too. So hold on. Tribaja, attracting tech talent to the most inclusive cities, training programs, and workplaces in tech and startup. How exciting is this? So I'm going to actually follow them. All right. And then Carrot is a world leader in technical interviewing and the pioneer of interviewing in the cloud. So you got these two powerful entities, Tribaja and then Carrot. So diversity, tech, right? Expanding, right? Okay. Partnering with Carrot, the world's largest interviewing company in the Black Brilliant Minds movement, to double the number of Black software engineers in tech. The program will help you perfect your interviewing skills and fast track for jobs at top companies like Duolingo, Indeed, CITI, Prime Video at Amazon Studios, and Flatiron Health. So you can get started, and I want to say it looks like you can get started for free. Now they have this little cover right here of Serena Williams, who's on here. And I'm going to click right here, actually, and see where it brings me to. So it may be that Serena, she may be like a investor because she has her tech company and everything. But going back to Anthony D. Mays, he's a senior advisor of Brilliant Black Minds, founder of Morgan Lattimore consulting firm. Okay, so let's click on here. Let me stop this share. And then let's get into this piece of it. And then we'll get into the team apps. But again, I think this is, this is like important stuff, people. We'll get to the team apps, but I definitely want to show this to you all. So it says, you are brilliant. Join the movement. You're not here by accident. Brilliant Black Minds is here to help bring your talents and drive to unlock opportunity in the tech industry. Join the network, connect with mentors, join study sessions, take free practice interviews, and qualify for job opportunities with our corporate partners of Brilliance. So you can sign up here. Access free technical resources, customer feedback, improvement plan, networking, and workshops. Wow. This is pretty great. This is really great. So I think, one of the things that everyone should take away from here is that, number one, in terms of Black tech leaders, raising venture capital funds is challenging. It's still an issue in terms of the equity piece. But we got Miss Wilson of Resilia, who has raised $50 million in VC funding. Then you also have Mr. Anthony D. Mays of Brilliant Black of Minds with the partnership with Carrot, coming together, joining forces so that we can get Black tech engineers in these big spaces so they can use their gifts. So I'm here for it. I think it's great. I love it. And we'll have more Black tech news. All right. So we'll get back to the team apps because I know this is what the people are here for. And I know I was supposed to do it last time, but we know how these things go. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, so let me actually close out of a couple of apps. I do not want to. Okay, let me close out of these apps. Oh no. Well, that's okay. It's fine. I think I saved it. I can go back. We definitely going to talk about how TikTok is hiring a senior project manager. We're going to talk about that at a different time. How exciting is that? Okay, but let's talk more about team apps and my recommendations and how all of this works together when it comes to work management processes. I think this is where I know the people are excited. All right, so remote and hybrid team stack, your tech stack, okay? So I pulled this little graphic right here from the Loom report that I keep referencing all the time. So we're going to go and we're going to talk about these apps in context to communication and content, okay? And collaboration. We're going to talk about these things in context to these three items. All right. So they have recommendations here. Okay. But I'm going to go, I'm just going to go a little more in depth than they did here. I appreciate. Ooh, okay. Team app recommendations. This is just really for me, my own recommendations. Okay. I do want to talk a bit about communicating about your work. Okay. I do. This is just little old me. Okay. Little old Ashley Schuler. Um, for me, I think if we're talking about best practices and the work that we're doing, I do think it's very, very important that we talk about how we're going to communicate the work. All right. Um, Hold on, folks. Let me catch up. Okay, here we go. Communicating about the work. All right. So, a couple things. I'm always going to go process before the tech. Process before the tech. In some cases, could you just like choose tech and keep it moving? Oh, absolutely. You could. It's totally your business. But let's talk about best practices and why understanding why a communication plan is necessary for your team and for your clients. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Oh, I'm so glad that you asked that question. Put any questions that you have in the chat as well. But here we go. We need to be more intentional about what we want to communicate, when we want to communicate it, how we're going to communicate it. And so most of the time we say, oh, everybody knows instinctually to communicate if there's a problem, to communicate when things are completed, to communicate and let me know that, my part is done and you can go and do your part. Well, I think we felt comfortable back in the day when it was pre-pandemic and we kind of had these rules, right? Communicate, and just let me know when you got that, you know, email, John, or let me know when you found out about X, Y, and Z. Like we felt very comfortable in those environments. Some of us did what better than others, but but what we are now thinking and where we're transitioning now is that because most of us are remote or we're in hybrid situations, we now have to think more intentionally about the way that we're going to communicate. So, how do we do that? What does that look like? So, a few things that you'll want to consider again, the what are you communicating? Why are you communicating this message? How are you going to communicate this message? And so, what that means is when I talk about communication about the work, it means the tasks, the projects, anything that's going on with the client, with your team members. How are you all communicating? What are some of the best practices? And it's really a matter of just sitting down, frankly, and having that discussion. I don't work after a certain time period. You're not going to find me. That sort of thing should be discussed. Okay. I would recommend adopting an async communication model. Asynchronous communication is any type of communication that includes a lag between when the party imparting the information sends the message and when the party receiving the message interprets it. So, me and Kevin are working on a project. Shout out to Kevin Spires, and he does live in a different time zone. So if I said, send him a message, and what if I'm expecting one right away? Well, that's probably not something I should do. And then I get angry or I get frustrated, right? Because I'm like, oh man, Kev has not responded. Why hasn't he responded? Okay. Now, oh, granted, child, the Bahamas, we got the same time zone. Okay, so we go to okay, yeah, we even sit in time zone. So let's go with India. India time zone or even Arizona. India time zone, it is 7:20 in the morning. Okay. So let's say I had a client in India and it was 3 o'clock. Okay. That would mean, oh yeah, it's like 50, it's like a 5.5 hours, right? It's like a whole day. It's already Tuesday at 7:20. It's 8:50 right now. So I would be frustrated if I sent a message to a client or to a team member, and I'm like, hey, where's my response at? Well, I'm disappointed, but yet I didn't communicate. And so that's where we have to come up with our plan. How are we going to communicate? What app are we going to use? I would recommend Slack. I recommend Slack even if you are cool with people. You know, everyone always loves a good text message back and forth. Hey, da da da. Not I, not I, because I actually believe in text messaging being distracting. I'll do it if it's going to be, well, it depends on the circumstance, really. But Slack, that would be my number one form of communication. You can share files, you can have meetings in there. I have a couple Slack badges because I took a couple of their mini courses. I like Slack a lot. I think it's a great tool. I think teams should use it. I don't believe people should be texting and communicating about work unless you have the right people and the focus and discipline to do that. So that's just myself. I think it can be hard to. I think it can be very hard to keep up with the conversation, and you also are in many different text conversations as well. So that is what is happening there. Okay, wanna ditch Slack? Okay. So maybe you're like, well, I am not into Slack, which is fine because I'm also working with a client that is not using Slack, which is fine. You can actually go and see about using some tools like ClickUp, Asana, and Notion that have comment features. Okay. And you could actually chat within these particular tools. So that's also an option, right? Some people want to cut down on costs, right? Because Slack and the users, they can be expensive, especially if you have a growing team and maybe you're not ready to make that shift. So I think it's very, very important that you just start to assess, right? That you just start to assess what exactly, you know what I'm saying, that you want to, what you're comfortable with, what you are comfortable with. And so I think that is huge. I think that is huge. So we want to be thinking about that, thinking about that. Okay. So, um, okay, good. So if you don't want Slack, all right, want to ditch it, you got PM tools. If you want to use Slack, great. You can also divide project channels, and you could have even a fun channel. You can even have like a meeting channel. There's a lot that you can do within um, Slack. There's a lot that you can do. So I think that yeah, I think that works. All right. Where else? Where else? Managing the work. So we just talked about managing the work, and these tools are probably going to be very familiar because we just talked about the communication side, communicating about the work. You will need a project management tool, okay? And you will need a tool that's going to be able to help you to manage the day-to-day tasks, projects, initiatives, and programs and services that you are managing, launching, and providing on an everyday basis. Okay. Um, to be able to do that, all right here, folks, this is a pen and paper squad. No more. No more when it comes to actually launching, working, providing services, all of these things that are project related. You need a project management tool to do that. If you want to be effective in 2023, if you want to have a single source of truth, you will have a project management tool. Yes, you will. A single source of truth. What does that mean exactly, Ashley? I'm so glad that you asked. A single source of truth means at any given time, at any given hour, I know what the assignment is, the task, when it is due, and what's required to get it done, and the status at any given time. That means at 2 a.m. and at 12 p.m. That means a team member comes in and can see the exact same thing. That means if I was stuck in traffic and I needed to, maybe get something emailed to the client, that I have a project management tool that will help to inform what the status is, where to, and also what to communicate to the client, right? And again, there's levels and steps to all of this. Okay, ClickUp's number one, very versatile. It's like Legos. It also can be, as people have said, it can be overwhelming at times. But I believe in building with simplicity first and foremost. First and foremost. Okay, Asana, it's another great and fantastic tool, and Notion as well. I love a good Notion. Tomorrow we'll talk about managing Thanksgiving dinner inside of ClickUp, and we're going to talk about Notion and how you can do some fun personal development. And well, for me, I guess you would really call it good spiritual development. Blessings and gratitude tracker. We're going to talk about the new expanded version of that tomorrow. A lot of good stuff, a lot of really good stuff in that. But project management tools will help you to focus on the timeline of a project, resource management, hours and workload, and all of that fun stuff. Okay? I love it. I'm here for a good old PM tool chat. Meeting on the work. Okay, we first talked about communicating about the work. Then we just talked about managing the work. Now we're talking about meeting on the work. So meeting management tools, Zoom, that's going to be my go-to. But however, Google Meet is really good too. It integrates with all the Google products. In fact, even though I didn't mention it, and I don't necessarily, that's not always going to be my number one go-to, but you can manage a project strictly in the Google product suite. I can show you how to do it. Okay. And what's cool about Google Meet, especially if you have a business plan, you can integrate it again with your Google products. You can create meeting notes and templates and all sorts of things. Google Meet's cool. You can also do breakout rooms. Miro, shout out to Miro. The Systems Lab live since mid-August to the fourth quarter. The Systems Lab live has been using all things accountability on demand. We see you. Has been using Miro as a presentation tool. So if you are a consultant, if you're a coach, if you are a service pro or an implementation pro is different, y'all. That's for what you would call your project managers, your launch managers, your VAs, the people who are doing the work on an everyday basis. Those are called implementation pros. So your implementation pros should have a software like this. Okay. And I probably should have added this to my tech stack, but that's okay. I'm adding it now. Whimsical is great. Miro, I'm experimenting with Miro. I like it a lot. They got a 1,000+ templates, and I like it a lot. It's a great tool. Transcription services. So if you don't want to take any notes, Otter.ai is a really good resource as well. There's definitely other tools that also integrate with Zoom as well. So you may want to check those out. Okay. Excuse me. All right. What's going on? Oh, look at Callie the Word Bird. It's been a while. It's great to see you. It is very good to see you. All right, where to store the work? All right, where to store the work? Google Drive, Dropbox. Okay. Those of you that kind of wish to stay within the Google product suite, because it's also, like I said, you can literally, get your Google suite for, it's not very expensive. You can get all the stuff. So if you're not sure, like, how you want to move with some of these software pieces, Google will have you straight for a while. So storage tools, Dropbox, big fan of Dropbox, lots of integrations, lots of cool features. With Dropbox, you can share, you can comment, do all the things. I've been using Dropbox for, it probably is 10 years at this point. Has it been around for 10 years? Let's look. When was Dropbox founded? Dropbox founded. Let's see when Dropbox was founded. I don't know when Dropbox was founded. Let's see. Dropbox was founded in 2007. I probably started using it shortly after it came about. Absolutely. I probably did. So love me some Dropbox. I use Dropbox primarily for my content, my live streams that I save, official biz paperwork. That's what I use it for. I will use Google Drive for client and SOP related things. That's what I will do. That's exactly it. Okay. What do we do next? What's the plan? Because, you're probably thinking to yourself, Chesco, you're probably thinking to yourself, you've recommended all of these tools. So should I go and download all of these tools or buy all these tools? No. What you want to do is you want to think, you want to create the plan. What do I mean by create the plan? What you want to do is this. You want to look and assess process-wise. All right, what is it that I particularly need for the season in my life, in my business, in my career? What's going to really help me? Help me. What's going to help me move the needle? What's going to help me relieve myself, right? Meaning like the pressure of it all, like the frustration, okay? The plan must do something to benefit, right? The process and what you're looking to accomplish. So you want to create the plan, right? What's the plan? What's the plan for communicating better? Like, what do we do? What's the plan for storing our information? What sort of rules do we have around that? What does that look like? Very good. Selecting the tool, features, prices, benefits, integrations, users, storage. Consider it all. Consider it all. If you have two programs, I'm going to be honest, I have Loom and I have Vimeo. At this point, because at times I'll sit there and I'll buy a few, a tool just because, it's used and it can do it. I need to get rid of Vimeo. I need to get rid. I already got Loom. Shout out to Loom. But I don't need Vimeo. I'm not using it as much, right? I'm not using it the way in which I thought I would use it. So it has to go. It has to go. All right. So things that we have to think about. I had to make a decision for podcasting for the platform. I had Riverside and I had Squadcast. Well, I had a few issues with Riverside, some repeated things. So I said, I'll drop it and then I'll use Squadcast, which has been great. I've been using it for audio clips, for podcasting. It's been wonderful. So you have to start thinking about these things. Yeah. So your tech stack, and Angela, man, I forgot. I wonder if it's in her link, but Angela, sorry, I went like super, super random. Hold on. It's Angela, and she has a tech stack. She has a tech stack. Angela, yeah, the systems RX funnels and automation, and she has like a $7 like tech stack thing. Like you can buy it, and you can buy it, and then you can go and essentially see like what your tech stack is. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So I thought that she did a really, really, really good thing by doing that and just helping people, right? What's going on, Gabby? How are you? You doing good? I hope you're doing super, super well. Hope that you're doing super, super, super well. All right. What's happening? Noyan Francis, wealth management. What's happening? What you up to? Cool. Very, very good. Very, very good. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Those are the things that we should look at. And then open dialogue. Okay. Open dialogue. So Gabby, what we're wrapping up this 7-part or 6-part series on work management. And we've been talking for the last 6 weeks about what is work management. Why is this a thing now? Like, why are people talking about work management? We talked about the different processes within it. We talked about challenges in implementing work management. And so now we're talking about team apps for execution. What do teams need to work better? So in terms of what's next, we've created a plan. What's our plan when it comes to communicating about the work, managing the work, storing the work, all of these things? What is the plan? Then we select the tool. What's the tool? And then we have open dialogue. And what I mean by that is that we should be looking for feedback to improve the process. Feedback so that we can know what tools are suiting our needs in the season that we're in. Because sometimes you may outgrow a tool. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now that as you expand, some of the project management tools, if you do not use ClickUp, I take that back, because what do I always say? I'm going to take that back. I was going into my old thought pattern. It just crept up on me. Even if you use ClickUp, even if you use Asana, even if you use Notion, there'll come a time where you will ask yourself, is this particular tool meeting my needs? Is it meeting where I am growing towards? So important. It's not about popularity. It's not about any of that. What's going to help you become more efficient? What's going to help you maximize your time and execute on the work accordingly? Woo! That, my friends, is the end of this live stream, which has been great. This has been a full 60 minutes. My goodness. We had a good old time. So if you are watching right now, I thank you on Instagram and on YouTube. But if you want to go back for the replay, you probably want to skip maybe the first 20 or 25 minutes. Because, unless you want to hear about the Black Tech news, which I thought was really interesting. Okay. But if you want to hear more about the full the tech execution, that you can skip that part. That's fine. Yeah. Come on. So that's all we got for today. Tomorrow, so exciting. Thanksgiving inside of ClickUp. And we're also doing blessings and gratitude tracker, how to keep track of the blessings that God has given you. And it's just a strategy really that I do. And so I'm just sharing what I'm doing as a best practice within my faith system. That's what I'm doing by sharing that with you on tomorrow. And then we're also going to talk about how you can manage Thanksgiving dinner and ClickUp, or any dinner period. It's like personal productivity. And then the last live stream of the month, to be honest, is going to be on the 28th. Biblical principles with time management. Game changer for me personally. Again, sharing what I've learned this year, where I've grown towards, and how that's changed the way I look and view time, and how I manage my time, and how to stay disciplined in my time management. So, just some introspective looks, right, of what I'm learning and sharing with you all. And yeah, that's it. You guys got any questions, any comments, any concerns? Let me know. Send me a message. Yeah. Send me a message. You can always direct message me. I have my social media links are in the show notes right there. Trent Jones just popped up. Trent. And yeah, send me a message. And that's all. That's all we got for tonight. As well, if you also made it to the end of this live stream, I appreciate you greatly. If you are also looking for any project consults, I have openings right now. If you want to talk about your projects and how to go, what's the best strategy? What's the best project strategy? Even if you're working on a client project, would love to have some insight onto how you can manage the scope, communicate with your client, the schedule, anything like that. So very, very good. All right. Talk to you soon. I thank you and good night. All right.